Most of us probably don't realize how much we depend on plastics. They hold the water we drink, the food we eat. They're in the cars we drive, and they even help save sick babies. But where does all the plastic go when we're done with it? It's estimated that Americans discard 33.6 million tons of plastic each year, but only 6.5% is recycled. The rest ends up in landfills, where it may take up to 1,000 years to decompose and potentially leak pollutants into the soil and water. But still the question, do the potential health risks of plastics outweigh their benefits? Joining us today to help make some sense of all this is Stephen Kim, Vice President and CFO of EcoZenith USA. Stephen, welcome.
Good morning, Debbie. Great to be here.
You know, it's hard to imagine a lifestyle without plastics, but is our dependence on them really putting us in danger?
Plastics are permanent in our environment, and they are not biodegradable. They'll be around forever, and much of this waste ended up in the ocean and affecting marine life and gets into our food chain. And there's something called Pacific Garbage Patch floating around our ocean bigger than the size of Texas. And these are the old waste of the plastic. And plastic emits something called dioxins during their manufacturing process or incinerating process.
And what do those toxins do to us?
It affects our developmental progress and sometimes in hormone malfunctions and genetic problems, all kinds of problems, and causing a cancer as well.
Okay, but what can we do? I mean, it seems like plastics are really an important part of our lives. So is there an alternative to plastics?
But there's an alternative available out there, and there's a technology out there as well. The EcoZenith USA is an advanced biomaterial company focused on sustainable solutions for the plastic and chemical industry. The company has developed and commercialized something called PBC, polybioceramic. This is high-performance polymer derived from calcium carbonate, one of the nature's abundant resources. It's a unique characteristic far beyond the something called PLA, which is a bio-based plastic. It's based out of cornstarch and a lot of other materials. And EcoZenith's PBC material is made out of minerals, and it has a special character, superior than the other competition and PLA-based plastic out there.
So are these new materials that EcoZenith is developing, are they going to be biodegradable?
Yes, PVC is 100% biodegradable.
They are.
And it decomposes within 18 to 24 months. We can even control the time of the compostability.
Really?
And it resists heat up to 300 Fahrenheit, and recyclable, compostable, you name it.
Non-toxic.
Non-toxic.
You know, we always hear with our plastics today, you can't put them in the microwave. So what about the new materials?
This material made out of minerals, so it resists the heat up to more than 300 Fahrenheit, so it has no problem putting it in a microwave.
You know, people are probably thinking, but plastic is so inexpensive, and this PVC is probably going to be not. It's probably going to be expensive. What would you say to them?
The PVC, since it's based on mineral called calcium carbonate, and 4% of the earth crust made out of limestone calcium carbonate, so the raw material is abundant. And
so
we could be able to compete with the conventional plastic.
Perfect. Well, it sounds like a good solution.
It is, it is.
So tell us about your progress in the development and how close we are to seeing it replace plastic products that we use every day.
We originally started from South Korea as a research and development. We are in progress to facilitate the manufacturing compound plant in the United States. We have the help of several governments and state, local governments helping us, such as the state of Maryland and Orange County in New York and Spotsylvania County in Virginia. Some of these county levels and the governments are helping us to host us this plant in their state or locality.
Because they're seeing that this is a wonderful solution. So is there anything that we can do as consumers now to move this along faster?
I think we are in the time to rethink the direction of the material, and how we dispose and how we create it. But we are in the right direction. There's the current trend, and more and more governments and consumers are aware of this. On board. realize the toxic natures and the environmental impact on these plastics.
Right, and that's huge because once they realize, the good versus the bad, they're probably more willing to help you.
Right.
Well, Stephen, I can't thank you enough for coming in today and sharing all of this with us. I really do appreciate it, and it's good to know that companies like EcoZenith are looking at solutions for a problem that is not going to go away, and our health depends on it, so we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Appreciate that.
Well, to see this portion of the show again, visit designingspaces.tv, where you will also find a link to EcoZenith as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon. You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.